Welcome to a new episode of React Native Weekly. This is a show whereby I talk about the latest developments, interesting things which happened in React Native, any interesting tweets or news. So if you're looking forward to anything like that, please subscribe to this channel. I've also linked as well a link to my newsletter if you want to get this through your mail, and enjoy. This is for the week ending on the 18th of June. So this week a lot happened. Let me just start off with a sad one. So the React Native usage for this period, basically it's just like the period from 2022 to 2023. So React Native saw the biggest drop in terms of usage when you are looking at frameworks. So it dropped by a mere 33%. Is this the end of React Native? Should we look at other frameworks? Should we jump ship? So it's particularly like something that you should be looking at. So this is coming from research which was done by, basically it was coming from, like, they researched about 54,000 engineers who are using this technology. So they did the survey in 2022 and then they did the survey again this year. So from that survey they saw that there was a drop only from the 54,000 who initially noted that they were using these frameworks. The drop was significant this time. So if I'm looking at this, there's like a graphic here which shows some of the frameworks which gained users and some frameworks which lost users. Ionic being the biggest one, a drop of negative 44.2%, and then Svelte actually gained a lot in terms of like the percentage change from the respondents, which was 61%. React in overall is still one of the bigger platforms in the sense that, like, even though the percentage increase was not that much, but then it still remains one of the biggest tools out there. Same with React Native. React Native remains to be one of the biggest hybrid cross-platform mobile development platforms you can use. So it's just like one of those downer when you actually see stuff like this. So going to the next story, the next one is React for Python, or Python for React. So basically you can now write React using Python, and basically since React and React Native are the same at the core, so that means a similar thing can happen. So basically you're able to create responsive front-end web applications using Python, using React and Material UI, so without having to program in JavaScript. So this is done by a transpiler which turns your Python code into JavaScript. So this is something, or library or transpiler, which has been happening, like been in development for a while. For example, this is their main channel. So you can see that the development for this platform has been happening in a while, but the only reason I'm bringing it up now because there's been some changes when it comes to Transcript, who kind of like received a new home. So there are big movements happening in this front, and something that you should be looking at if you are a React or React Native developer, especially if you know some Python code. So have a look at this, and something really interesting. You can just imagine being able to just use Python to write React Native code. That'd be cool, especially for people who are more in the data science field or side. So that's something that you should just have a look at, and it's pretty cool to see these movements happening in the React Native community. So another one I wanted to just highlight as well was just like with React Native, you can now do some complicated stuff using BLE and state management. So Daniel showed this interesting demo on his Twitter account. Everything is linked in the description or in the show notes. Basically, he's showing two phones. One is an Android phone, one is an iOS phone, and you are actually controlling the color of the other phone using BLE from either device. So you can actually control the color and notifications of the iOS app using React Native, or you can do vice versa. Pretty cool if you ask me. Let's go on to the next one. Also still around Twitter as well. This is an interesting one. This is coming from Alexandra. So basically it's a Townscaper game, or the UI, and you can actually see that the animations are quite smooth. Everything's actually happening real time, 60 frames per second, and it's actually done using Software Dimensions Gesture Handler version 2. So you can actually see the seamless drag and drop animations on the demo that he showed in his Twitter. So it's pretty cool, and you can actually see that you can actually, with React Native alone, you can actually do some really smooth animations, really cool game logic. So yeah, this could be a start of a new trend, games with React Native. Pretty cool. Going on to one of the last stories. So this time is coming from Lane Wagner. He basically released an library for caching images. We know that when it comes to caching of images with React Native, the main support is only for iOS, and it falls short when it comes to Android. So this library that he just open sourced allows you to do caching on both iOS and Android, especially using Expose managed React Native app. So this is pretty cool, and it works for both images and image background. That's pretty cool. I've linked the link to this page where is talking more about the library. Another thing as well I wanted to highlight was this beautiful animation. It's like really slick, and there's actually like a snack for it whereby you can actually test it out yourself. So it has this pull to action trigger. All the code is here. We see that it's actually using a bit of Tailwind in the background as well. So let's see if I can actually run it here. So there we go. This is really beautiful. Like a really beautiful animation as well. Cool. So I'll put a link to this snack in the show notes so that you can actually have a look and play around with it. So it's remarkable the things you can do with React Native. So going on to my hot picks. So this time it's more of like the hot library. So you know that the React Native directory shows hot libraries or trending libraries. This time the trending library of the hot one was React Native Screen Guard. What React Native Screen Guard allows you to do is that you can actually protect sensitive information in your React Native app. Let's say, for example, you don't want someone to take a screenshot of a banking app or key critical information within your app. You can actually use this library, which is the React Native Screen Guard. It's a really cool library if you think about it, especially because it protects some of the sensitive information within your app. So I'll put a link to this library for you to check out. Give it a star, try it out, and I think it's a really cool library. And then finally, React Native on YouTube. So I released a video with I released a React Native video basically detailing how you can implement React Native swipeable animation. So check out my channel for that video. Also, there were some really interesting talks by Pusha as well on YouTube. So I've placed the link to their video as well in the show notes. So hope you enjoyed this one. See you on the next one. Cheers, y'all. Have a great week.